Hello, everybody. Joe Bag Donuts here, and welcome back for another episode of Fullmetal Demon Muramasa. One of the last couple I verified with some people, and epilogue. It's not too long, but it said depending on how long I'm going, either another episode or two. So we're in the last stretch. We're almost fucking there. Thank God. Oh God, but I'm fucking tired of shit. Oh, like you wouldn't believe. I've had a bunch of appointments at weird times over the past couple days. So I could have recorded yesterday, but no, I couldn't. I was way too tired. I was up too early. I was at, training appointments all day yesterday. Came home, slept immediately. Oh, oh. And now I'm tired today too, because I also had to get up early and go in for a bunch of medical evaluations. Nothing wrong with me. It's just that time of year, and I'm due for all my annuals, and of course they book me for fucking ass crack dawn, first thing in the morning. Which for a normal person, it's like, oh great, do that before they go to work. Get a late show to work, and then just do go about their day. But for me, it's like this is like fucking you scheduling me for a doctor's appointment at 2 in the morning, like 3 in the morning. Like, what the fuck? So, go in, do those. Oh, got a bunch of shots, too. One of them wasn't that bad. But then they gave me, I want to say it was the anthrax shot. That one, yikes. Fucking came like a turkey baster. Jesus, fuck, the needle. So, now my bicep's a little sore. Like, normally, I have no problem getting, all my shots. Just, I prefer not to look. I have no problem with needles. I got no problem with blood. It's seeing my own blood leaving my body that's the issue. And depending on how hydrated you are, one of the last times I wanted to get a shot, they gave me it to doing their thing, and then she pulled out the needle, and I just, fucking just shot blood. She must have got me, in a vein or something. I'm like, oh, ooh, yikes. But that's fine. If it's a little blood, whatever. But I've told the stories before. Like, when I give blood, it's like, nope, can't fucking watch the bag. Can't watch my blood go through the tube. That's like, ugh. But anyway, yeah, that hurt, and now my arm is sore. And it's like, normal shots. The needle's real thin. It's like you feel it, but it doesn't really hurt. This one, man, that one was like, it made me kind of wince a little. I'm like, ugh. Like, what the fuck? It's like someone took a straw from McDonald's and just sharpened one end and jabbed it into your arm and then fucking pushed some liquid through it. Ugh. Not as bad as the penicillin shot I got in my butt. If you know, you know. Good old peanut butter shot. But the worst part is you have to grind it in afterwards. They fucking take this big old needle, shove it right in your keister. And then they're like, all right, now you gotta sit on the floor and just fucking grind your ass to break up the penicillin so it absorbs into the muscle. Otherwise it'll just ball up and not work, and then you gotta go get another one. Not fun. Really not. You only have to get that once though, I think. At least I've never heard of anyone getting it again. Anyway. That's my medical woes for the day. On the plus side, I just started my a month-long vacation. I say vacation, really. I'm just burning time. I have paid time off. The issue though is, if you're above a certain amount of days you have saved up by the end of the fiscal year, you just lose them. It's like you can only have a certain capped amount, and I'm already at my cap. I was at my cap at the end of the last fiscal year. So, and, I'll be busy going off to Parts Unknown, doing the G.I. Joe stuff later this year. And depending on when we come back, there's not enough time to use those days. So I got to fucking smoke them if you got them. And, man, I got a full pack right now. So I'm just going through it all. The annoying part is I still have a bunch of appointments and stuff to go to, so I have to do that on my, vacation, but so be it. The price we pay. Ugh. The story, yeah, last time we left off, we won. We beat the Ginseigo. We did it. Only problem is now my dude's a depressed, like, suicidal alcoholic, but, suicidal in the sense that he's like, oh man, this is awful. Like, I fucking hate everything about living now. But, he, he can't and won't, go through it, do it himself. Because that defeats the purpose. And he's like, he's not having a good time. Just straight up, no fun allowed at the moment. Ugh. Besides drinking, though, he apparently picked up, had some fun when he was boozed up, just wandering around in a drunken stupor. He picked up a new hobby. Good for him, We'll pick up where that left off right now. When I awaken, two things immediately become clear. The first is that I don't know where I am. The second, that my brain has apparently decided to become a percussive instrument. Also, that I'm without an explanation for either. I'm lying on a futon in an unfamiliar home. In addition to the pounding inside my skull, I'm experiencing a general lethargy and a marked dryness of throat. How did I get here? Try as I may, I cannot recall the past which led to the present. Should I dig deeper? Thought brings a fresh wave of pain. Succumbing, I stretch out my arms and legs and let my head sink into the pillow.
起きた?
はい。
平気?
No.
そうですね。
Agua?
水を一
Por favor?
お水? わかった。
誰だ?
The dusty rafters do not answer, and my brain is of no more use. I don't think I've met her before.
はい。
ありがとうございます。
Sitting up, I accept the stainless steel cup. It's cold to the touch, reminding me that winter is here. I gulp down. Tap water. A metallic tang tells me, but its cool kiss upon my organs more than makes up for what it lacks in flavor. He can taste the lead in the water. Yum. As I finish, my stomach grumbles. One part of me, at least, is fully awake. Either that or it's like, been sitting in a water tower and it's got like that metal taste. If you ever had a stainless steel like tumbler and like left it in your car with like water in it and then like come back the next day and drink it, you can tell.
ご飯?
おう。いえ。そこまで厚かましくは。
お腹空いて
No,
ない?
no, just cannot possibly impose any further.
あ、その、少々。
Her innocence leaves me with little choice but to admit my weakness. Meanwhile, my stomach continues to growl, suggesting that it's been a night or more since I last ate.
待ってて.
She darts into the kitchen. Oh, God, you have to put up with me. Oh. For this episode, my sleep schedule is fucked right now. Then, returns a moment later.
これ.
ほ、どうも。
She hands me a small potato. It's cold, but cooked. Not the grandest of meals, but I am not about to complain. At least I won't have to feel too bad about accepting the offer.
いただきます。
うん.
The first bite is sweet and good. It takes less than 60 seconds for the rest to vanish down my gullet, during which time the child watches me intently. Sounds like one of my meals. Just like go into the cupboard and be like, well, just cook a fucking single potato. And that's it.
ごちそうさまでした。
There's a while when I first moved out of the dorms and my pay was still shit, where I was living very frugally. And one thing I learned is that you can bake a sweet onion like a potato and just eat fucking onions. Just whole onions. They kind of caramelize a little so they don't have that that strong bite that an onion has. And it's like, you're eating some fried onions. but they're baked. So there's like 0 calories to them. Besides, what would onions be? Are onions like a carby vegetable? Like, I know potatoes are full of carbs because they're starch, but what about an onion? It's mostly water, yeah? Anyway, it was like fucking that, some like big bag of like frozen chicken breast and potatoes and mushrooms. I ate a lot of mushrooms because they're good and yummy.
おそ松様
She's learned her manners. The light draws my eye to the window. The sun has risen. Must be breakfast time.
ところで、
A cold tendril of intuition crawls its way up my spine.
あなたは食べないのですか？
うんあげちゃった
Oops.
どうしたの
大変申し訳ありません。
After giving myself 15,000 mental lashes, I press my forehead against the mat. The child looks confused.
この償いはすぐにいたします。
償い
あなたの食事を横取りしてしまったので。
おじさん困ってた
Yeah, but you're a growing child and you need your nutrients.
私よりだからあげたの
そうですか。
This must be how the tiger who ate the Buddha felt. In any case, the shock seems to have finally aroused my brain. I take the opportunity to reassess my situation. The house is small, though I can't imagine the girl lives here alone. It's furnished, which suggests an adult's hand at work. Why does it feel so empty? Even if her parents are out, I should still feel some trace of their presence. Instead, nothing. I mean, it could just be a spare room. And the floor is dusty.
どうか
いえ、失礼しました。
I divert my train of thought. Before I think to pry into her circumstances, I should get my own affairs in order. Last night, it's coming back to me now. I got drunk, assaulted Muramasa, and fled into the city. The exercise must have helped the alcohol work, because after that, the night is a blur. I vaguely recall committing a second assault at a political rally down by the train station. And after that, I intervened in a dispute between 2 groups of men. I intervened. And what? And the rest is blank.
自分がどうしてこの家にいるのか教えていただけないでしょうか。
At the risk of sounding like a fool, I decide that I have to ask.
昨日おじさんが
はい。
I refrain from pointing out that I'm still in my 20s. Not exactly old.
喧嘩を止めてて
Nah, you're old, bud.
その後で寝ちゃったから連れてきたの
なるほど。
I require several seconds to parse her explanation. So this girl witnessed me collapse during last night's altercation. Afterwards, taking pity on me, she carried me to her home. No, she must have meant that her parents carried me. She couldn't have possibly have managed it herself. I should thank them.
ご両親はどちらに？
お父さんとお母さん
ええ。
いない
お仕事でしょうか。
いないの
I paused for another few seconds, considering her words in light of the emptiness filling the house. So, her parents are gone.
お父さんは兵隊に行ったのすぐに帰ってくるって言ってたでも手紙が来て
Hey, but that means you got a pension, right? Got your dad's fucking life insurance.
お母さんが泣いてお父さんはもう帰ってこないって
Though, judging by the circumstances, currently in Yamato, the pension is probably just like a bag of rice a month or something.
それからお母さんもいなくなっちゃった
Oof.
どちらへ行かれたのですか？
知らない
I could use a strong bowl of tea. Seeing none at hand, I settle for swallowing my saliva instead. The taste is bitter, but the ritual serves its purpose. Keeps my spirit from crumbling.
お暮らしはどのように？いえ、食べ物はどうされています？
八百屋さん、お手伝いするとご飯くれる。それと配給。
Rations. Heard that rationing is again in effect for some sectors of the populace. If the war situation doesn't improve, it will soon be like that for everyone. What many people would consider a hardship has been, for this orphan, a blessing. Something to think about, and cruelly ironic in the light of the fact that the war which has made rationing necessary is the same war which murdered her father. That potato must have been her ration for the day. Yet another reason to regret having eaten it.
申し遅れましたが、自分は港影明というものです。あなたには大変お世話になりました。
Well, you probably got some pocket money on you, right?
名前？
Some change banging around in your wallet?
はい、
影明？
そうです。よろしければ、あなたの名前もお聞かせください。
うん、光。
え？
光。
Yeah, it is close. Not quite, bud. You know, there's one letter off there. The syllable's different at the end. She takes my hand, then awkwardly traces the characters on my palm. That was quick. I'm not even gonna bother fucking censoring that. Same character her name used.
変？
いえ、良いお名前だと思います。
Yeah.
自分に子供がいれば、同じ名前をつけたでしょう。きっと。
そう、よかった。
Was that a smile? For the first time, her lips seemed to form a shape other than a line. For my parts, I can hardly breathe. The shock I just received nearly stopped my heart. What twist of fate is this?
風？
いえ、大丈夫です。
Yeah, just acid reflux.
その、
Set up too quick. I search for a topic, something to distract me.
あ、そう。喧嘩はどうなりましたか？
昨日の？
はい。
I realize that the question is more than a distraction. I have a real interest in the answer. Though my memory of the encounter is far from complete, I seem to recall that tempers on both sides were heated. The current climate in Yamato is the sort that breeds resentment. If the argument last night came to blows, then I expect more than a few injuries resulted. I was hoping that no one was...
平気だった。
平気？
うん、大丈夫だった。
その、つまり。
Yeah, they all kind of lost their steam once they just like saw you being weird, and it confused them so much that it just calmed them down.
うん。
そうですか。
That's good. Wonderful, in fact. That means the child didn't have to witness bloodshed. Still.
しかし、どうして？
おじさん。
はい。
おじさんが止めたの。
自分が？
そう。
Yeah, you de-escalated.
それは、どのように？
フォーク？
フォーク？
Yeah, forks and knives to replace the hashi.
うん。お箸とフォーク。
Well, that doesn't clear anything up. Except for one thing.
そうか。
You made a real fucking dumb joke. I stopped them.
そうか。
I stopped a conflict. I think I had that power.
影明。
And look, you did it without having to kill anyone.
は、
For once.
嬉しそう。
そうですか。
I touch my cheek. New warmth is there, as if the blood is only now returning. It appears this child knows my heart better than I myself do.
失礼。何でもありません。ついでに、その後のことですが、どうやって自分をここまで運んでくださったのでしょう？
Seeking a new topic, I return to one of my earlier questions.
あなただけでは難しいと思うのですが。
うん、頑張ったけど動かなくて。困ってたら お姉ちゃんが来てくれたの。
お姉ちゃん。両親の他に。
Ah, probably some weird Amishi in a sultry outfit.
知らない人。
So this woman helped her carry me?
その方は今どちらに？
そこ。
そこ？
I turn, following her finger to the home's entryway. And there, arms folded, how long has she been there, is Muramasa. Ooh, that was a good pop from my knuckle. We step outside, where I realize we're in a suburb of Kamakura. Yep, suburb, all right. Well, I guess it's the 40s. You know, suburban sprawl isn't, what it is now. So yeah, I guess this is a suburb, sure. The streets are only lightly paved and lined with squat houses packed tightly. Hey, I know last night was got a little intense, but ugh. The air is thick. Neither of us speak. Muramasa perhaps does not feel that she needs to. She's right. Her silence is enough, or as I find my tongue weighed down by the memory of last night's debacle. I know that I should apologize and probably never stop. Where do I begin?
ねえ。少し。
Hey, get it all out of your system?
あ、かもしれん。
そう。
村正。
何？
昨日の。
Yeah. With the thing.
ええ。
すまなかった。謝って済むことでもないが。
いいのよ、別に。気にしないで。
Yeah, it's just, drunken domestic violence and assault. It's normal. 40s.
そうもいくまい。
私は。
To be expected, even. It'd be rude not to.
私はね、あなたが望むのであれば。
So, yeah, kind of disappointed you stopped, actually.
ともかく、約束する。
え？
あんな真似はもう二度としない。
そう。
絶対にだ。
Well, just not like that,
天地に誓おう。村正。
何？
やはり怒っているか？
Yeah, but, just for different reasons.
どうして？
And more just disappointed, you kind of blueballed her.
いや、なんとなく。
私のどこが怒ってるのかしら？こんなにとっても笑顔でしょ？
そうだな。
She's indeed smiling, like a benevolent goddess. The sort who has a penchant for storms.
気のせいだったか。
Yeah, it's just your hangover messing with your senses.
そうよ。気のせいよ。
なら、良いのだが。
見どったら変なこと言って。
Yeah, he's just such a wacky guy. Where am I? The North Pole? A frigid wind is blowing. Weather has been schizophrenic lately.
いいから帰りましょう、ミド。別に用事はないんでしょ。
I mean, unless we want to, fucking get involved with a side quest about some bridge.
いや。
A good distraction,
少し、やってみたいことがある。
there's something about a saying about, idle hands and whatnot. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's something where, if your hands are busy, your idle hands can't, I don't know, do mischief or something. First, we need to see that my little savior is properly fed. And after that... how big of a bridge are we talking that fell? Alright, it's not a small bridge, but it's not like a giant one either. This must be the place.
橋？
の、名残だな。
The river looks deep, if not terribly wide. The bridge would have been necessary to cross it. From what I can tell, it was a simple affair, A few pieces of wood remain on each bank to mark where it stood. How the bridge came to be lost, I do not know. The only thing I recall from last night's encounter is that two groups of men were fighting over who was to blame. Now, where to start?
んおい、あれ昨日の酔っ払いじゃねえか。
本当だ。今日は朝から女連れかよ。
I turned to see two men wearing overalls, locals on their way to work. Though their faces are unfamiliar, they clearly recognize me. They must have been involved in the altercation last night. I signal Muramasa to stay where she is, then approach the two.
おはようございます。昨晩はご迷惑をおかけしました。
今日はシラフらしいな。
Yeah, just let the drink get to him.
そうか？昨日も口ぶりだけはまともだったぞ、この兄ちゃん。
Yeah, but he's more coherent.
いえ、どうかご安心を。あのような無礼はもういたしません。
You've decided to completely abstain from the booze? Not that I remember what that was.
実は少々お尋ねしたいのですが。
あんた誰だよ。
失礼しました。自分は鎌倉警察署長の下で働く港影明というものです。
It feels like forever since I introduced myself thus.
警官か？
Kind of.
その一種とお考えください。今は非番のようなものですが。
警官ならさ、あいつらどうにかしてくれよ。
More like a contractor.
あいつら。
Yeah.
難民どもさ。北から西からぞろぞろ鎌倉に来やがって。他に行くところねえのかよ。
I mean, probably not, considering the refugees. That's kind of the whole thing.
関東じゃ鎌倉が一番マシみたいだからな。
来るのは仕方ねえにしても、元から住んでた俺らに迷惑かけるなってのさ。食い物は減るし、水は汚れるしよ。臭いったらねえし。病気まで持ち込んだやつもいるらしいじゃねえか。
噂は聞くな。どっかで赤痢が広まりだしたとか。
Yeah.
くそ、ろくでもねえ。
Like, before the very modern age, I'm talking like the last fucking, like, 70 years, the vast majority of battlefield casualties were from people fucking shitting themselves to death, essentially. Or fucking scraping their hand and getting infected and just, like, dying from it. So, you know, fucking catastrophic asshole failure disease is, you know, a real thing to worry about, you know, especially if, you know, we're just on the outskirts here, you know. I know there's a big old medical clinic you can run to get some penicillin or something. The larger man, shouting, has begun to draw attention, but for all the looks he receives, few carry reproach. From what I gather, it seems that an influx of refugees has made life difficult for the people who live here. Their frustration is understandable, which makes the problem an even trickier one. Normally, the government would step in to offer aid, but with the war going on...
ところで、この橋ですが。
Yeah, it's real fucking wrecked.
ああ、そいつも奴らのせいさ。街中へ行くのに使う橋だってのに、これを壊されちまったせいで、あっち側に仕事場のあるやつはみんなずっと下流の別の橋を渡っていかなきゃならなくなった。
Big of a detour. I mean, the river's not that big. Just like get a boat in there that can just like that's on like a fucking rope line and just like hop in and you know pull yourselves across and fucking rinse and repeat.
すげえ遠回りなんだぜ。
バカバカしいよな。
難民の人々がこれを壊したのですか。
No one around here has a boat and you can't really just slap one together.
風や増水で壊れたようには見えないだろ。
I mean, it's wrecked real bad.
確かに。しかし、難民の犯行という証拠は。
証拠はねえさ。けどよ、他に誰がやるってんだ。あいつら。俺たちがちょくちょく苦情を言いに行くのが嫌で橋を壊したに決まってる。
I mean,
難民どもが住んでるのも川向こ
would
う
they
だからな。
really? It's like, sure, it'd be real fucking petty and like a good way to get your goat, but you know, I doubt they're trying to aggravate you, considering, you're already at fucking at odds, and that would just make their lives even harder. And I doubt that's what they're trying to do, is make their own lives hard.
あいつら全員が橋さえなければ文句言われないなんて考えるバカだとは思わねえけど、古い橋だったからな。
おまわり、どうにかしてくれよ。
Alright,
そう
alright.
ですね。事態を確かめ、善処したく思いま
Yeah,
す。
third party outsider, good go between.
前書ね。お役人の前書は当てにならないからな。
Two men shake their heads, then turn and walk away.
やっぱり筋の連中に頼むか。
この辺りの見回りを請け負ってくれるって話か？
それだけじゃねえ。難民どもの追い出しも相談に乗るってさ。
でもよ、みかじめ料を聞いただろう？
そこがな。
Mm-hmm.
あいつらこっちの足元を見てやがるから。
Yeah, let's just call them a private security firm for now. Is paying them really the go-to for the current situation? The best option? As they head off down the riverbank, conversing in a low tone, Muramasa returns to my side.
やってみたいことっていうのはこの橋の立て直し
Like, oh, it didn't take you for much of a carpenter.
少し違うな。
じゃあ何を
差し当たっては。
First, I need to hear from the other side. It's like, man, resolving conflict peacefully is fucking awesome. He's like, maybe I should, do that as my new hobby. We find them clustered around the parks and fire breaks lining the opposite bank. Refugees fleeing the war that raged to the north and south. As expected, conditions are poor. Only a handful live in anything that resembles a structure. Most have tents, many have less. The fears of disease are not without merit. Alright, now that I'm here, how do I proceed? Though I'm at present the focus of at least a half-dozen pair of eyes, I cannot see any of the people to whom they presumably belong. Clearly, they do not trust strangers. While they can hardly begrudge themselves in light of recent tensions, it does not make my prospects for conversation. It does make my prospects for conversation rather dim. Should I call out, hoping for a response? It might have the opposite effect.
あれ、あんた。
Hello, small man. A young man steps out from the shadows of a hovel. He looks away for a moment, as if searching his memories, then.
ゆうべの酔っ払いじゃないか。
あなた昨日の夜は
Look, they were all right
面白い
there.
こと
You
に
know,
な
it
ってた
wasn't like
みた
we
い
was,
ね
fucking going every which way in the town. I pretend not to hear the bite in Muramasa's voice or feel her stare on my back. This is the chance I was hoping for.
その説はお騒がせしました。
いや、いいよ。あんたのおかげで助か
Yeah, good
った
work
気もするし
de-escalating.
さ。それで、なんでこんなところに来たんだ？
少々お伺いしたいことがあり。
I pause, realizing that introductions in this case might prove problematic. What will you do when I reveal that I'm affiliated with the police? Not welcome me with open arms, I'm sure. Even so, I suspect that position will be preferable to drunkard.
失礼。自分は警察に属しているものです。
警察？
As expected, the man draws back in fear, echoes of which ripple throughout the neighborhood. To these people, who are truly not residents of Conqueror, a police officer in their midst is a sign of upheaval. I move quickly to set their minds at ease.
ご安心ください。立ち退きの勧告に来たのではありません。あなた方の状況を調査するために参ったのです。
聞いてどうする？
We try to resolve some of the tensions.
詳しいことを知るまでは
結局は追い出しにかかるんじゃないか？
He doesn't have that fucking authority.
否定はできません。
Lying won't help. The military or police might indeed take such measures, short-sighted though they may be.
しかし、自分はそうならぬ方が良いと考
But
え
I
てい
suppose he
ま
means,
す。
things go on as they
自分
currently
の
are.
力量はたかが知れていますが、
Such events might come to pass.
それでも何かできることはあるかもしれません。ご協力をいただけないでしょうか。
まあ、話くらいなら別にそれで俺たちの生活が これ以上悪くなるわけじゃないしな。
ありがとうございます。
I bow. It's a start.
あなた方はどちらから？
そりゃいろいろだよ。俺は駿河だけど、他にも東映とか尾張とか。
I know where Owari is, but not the rest.
でも大半は東海地方だな。
なるほど。
These particular refugees were driven from the south, where Himagara Raicho and his uncle, Ashikaga Yukitsuda, are fighting over who will lead Rokahara, of course. From what I've heard of the conflict, they're lucky to have survived.
当面鎌倉で暮らすことをご希望なのですね。
他にどうしようもないからな。
何か不自由されていることは？
不自由？
Yeah, everything.
家と食い物と働き口が足りないくらいだよ。
You know, running water, some latrines. Actually, that's something that they should do. They should dig some shit pits or something, so that way, you know, they're not just dumping their waste in the river. I do. In short, they have the same problems as the rest of Kamakura, only worse. And these are not problems I can fix. I'll take a stable nation armed with vision and will. Still, perhaps I can help on a smaller scale.
旧来の住民との間にトラブルがあるという話も聞いていますが。
ああ、俺たちは歓迎されてないからな。実を言えば、あいつらの気持ちはわかる。
Mm-hmm.
けど、俺たちは他に行き場がなくてここに来たんだ。出て行けと言われても、そうですかとうな
I
ずけ
mean,
や
I'm
し
kind
な
of
い。
hoping that's exactly what you'll do.
ええ、
どうにか受け入れてほしいんだが。
何やら関係を決定的に悪化させる事件があったとか。
橋のことだな。
Yes.
はい。
あいつらは俺たちが壊したって言ってる。でも、やるわけがない。ここの誰にそんな元気があるってんだ。しかも、
Mhm.
何の得にもならないじゃないか。
We're just trying to get by, fuck, man. What would fucking starting shit do for
で
us?
は、あなたは何者の犯行だと思われます？
さあな。どこかの悪タレのいたずらじゃないのか？
Just someone trying to stir the pot?
でなければ。考えたくはないが。
Mm-hmm. A little bit of false
住
flag.
民側が俺たちを追い出す口実作りに。俺もバカなこと言ってるな。でも、ありえないとは思えないんだ。
Mm-hmm.
向こうが俺たちを疑うのもわかるよ。
そうですね。
やれやれだ。
He looks away with a small, tired smile. Yes, what indeed? Noon finds us once more at little Hikari's home. Girl seems happy to see us, and undoubtedly so to see a meal that we brought. She reacted similarly when we fed her this morning, given that neither was a scrumptious affair, or that she's been going hungry.
要するに昔からの住人と新しく入ってきた人たちとの間を取り持って和解させたいの？
Mm-hmm.
まあそうだ。このまま互いに不満と不信の念を募らせていけば、それを防ぐ。
難しいと思うけど。
簡単ではなかろうな。
Yeah, try to nip this problem in the bud. Like most things, human relationships are far easier to break than to build. One can labor for 100 years and still fail to repair what only took an instant to destroy.
しかし、俺でも和解のきっかけを作るくらいのことはできるかもしれない。やるだけはやってみる。
I've already prevented one outbreak of violence. I need to believe that I can do so again. There has to be some purpose, some reason to live on in spite of my crimes.
そう。それでどうする気なの？
話し合いだけで片付く問題ではないだろう。まず行動が必要だ。難民側に行動を起こしてもらう。
橋を？
はい。
Uh-huh. My previous visit must have helped to allay some of their suspicion. This time, the young refugee is joined by a number of his fellows. They all look as surprised as he is.
橋を立て直すって
Yeah, you know, a little show of good faith.
そうです。材木や道具は自分に少々つてがあるので、金銭面の心配はいりません。
と言われてもな。
Like, most of you just fucking bumming around anyway.
なんで俺たちがそんなことしなきゃいけない？あの橋を壊したのは俺たちじゃないんだ。
はい。
I don't have proof. My instinct tells me that some other party was responsible.
食材として再建するのではありません。
じゃあ何のために？
誠意です。
誠意。
はい。この町の厄介者になるのではなく、住民となって貢献する意欲を
Yeah,
示
you know,
すべきと考え
we
ま
might
す。
be new here, but we're still members of the community, even if we're kind of on the fringe.
それこそなんでだ？何も悪いことはしてねえ。なのになんでこの上そんな苦労を背負い込まないとならないんだ。
Because otherwise things are just gonna keep going downhill.
お気持ちは理解できます。しかし、あなた方が流入したことで、現在のところ、旧来の住民の生活環境が悪化しているのも事実なのです。あなた方に罪はない。住民側もそれは同じ。
Yeah, you know, there's just too many people in the room, and the air is getting kind of stuffy and hot. And, you know, people are getting agitated
双
because
方
of
が
it.
自分は悪くないと意地を張り合っている限り、問題は解決しません。譲歩し合う必要があります。そして、
先に譲歩するのは俺たちか。
はい。
なんで？
腐るなよ。それは仕方ない。受け入れてもらうために努力が必要ってのは当然といえば当然の話だ。このまま住民に睨まれ続ければ、いずれ俺たちは追い出される。
Yeah, just
そうなったら
make
のたれ
nice.
死にするしかない。けれど、うまく住民側と和解できれば。
その事実は、行政や警察の判断にも強く影響するでしょう。
Whether this is like
保護する方向へ方針が傾く一因となります。
a sanctioned you know, like refugee asylum place or whatever, or you know, or if they're just gonna kick you out for being a bunch of fucking hoodlums. Commissioner Kikuchi is not a soft-hearted man. There's no guarantee that he'll let the refugees stay, but nor will he fail to weigh any effort made by them to integrate.
あの橋を立て直せば住民側は俺たちを認めるのか？
No guarantee.
確約は致しかねます。
It'll definitely look good though for you.
当てにならねえ。
申し訳ありません。自分にお約束できるのは、認められるよう働きかけることだけです。
橋作りは俺たちだけで？
I mean, some of them might help.
はい。自分はお手伝いしますが、外部に人手を求めるべきではないでしょう。業者を頼むには金がかかりますし、それに、
Mhm.
他人の手で立て直しても意味がありません。
All right, but you got to build it right, though. You can't just slap a bridge together across, you know, this deep river. You know, what if it collapses when they're on it, and then now you go, oh, your fucking shit bridge just drowned 4 people.
確か
Then
に
they're
そうだ
really
な。
gonna fucking want you gone.
おい、やるつもりなのか？
ああ、どうせ体は空いてるんだ。お前だって日雇い仕事が週に一度あるかないかだろ。やっても無駄かもしれないが、
Mhm.
やらなくたって無駄に時間を過ごすだけなんだ。
かもな。
やっていただけますか？
なあ、俺は乗るよ。若い連中にも声をかけてみる。ただ、そんなには集まらないと思う。
Yeah,
あまり期待しないでくれ。
yeah.
結構です。
Being voluntold to go
よろしくお願いします。
do something isn't you know, the best way to, you know, feel good about doing it.
うまくいったようね。
ひとまずはな。
けれど、こんな小川でも
Yeah.
橋を架けるのって割合大変なんじゃない？
It's not like a shed in someone's backyard that burned down. This is like
俺もそう思う。
relatively intricate.
大工の経験者がいれば良いのだが、
私は手伝ってもいいの？
I mean, I know you're a smith, but what do you know about woodworking?
いや、
やっぱり
Muramasa's not a carpenter, but with her supernatural faculties, I have no doubt she'd be an asset. Problem is how to explain that to the others. Police do not have Musha. I could fabricate an excuse, but that would risk losing their trust and jeopardizing the entire endeavor.
お前には別件を頼みたい。
何
The tools and lumber arrive on schedule. But the next morning, we are ready to begin. As the young men warned, only 4 additional refugees volunteer, bringing their number to a total of 6. I'd like to have a few more, but this will have to do. First, to inspect the site.
やはり深い。
真ん中あたりは腰まで沈みそうだな。
That's not terrible. If it was like a really fucking deep, like, ravine in there, and it's like, oh yeah, the middle of the river's over your head, that's an issue. But waist deep isn't awful. It is winter though, so wading up in there and like doing work might be a bit of an ask.
もっと深い場所もあるかもしれません。
A few minutes of waiting, and I understand why the locals don't let their children play here. The river is not just deep, fast, and the footing is slippery. This also explains why they haven't just thrown in a few pontoons.
楽じゃないのは分かってたな。
どなたか橋を建てた経験のある方はおられますか？
いや、
それはなかなかいないだろう。一応確かめるが。
未経験です。建築業に関わったことはありますが。
いきなり前途多難じゃねえか。
I mean, not entirely. Just gotta go to the library and get some like architecture books. But you know, the hardest part is probably just gonna be getting the fucking supports in the middle. You know, you have to get some lumber in there, then pile it down into the riverbed, and you know, actually have like proper supports around the base to anchor it.
ま、川幅は大したことないんだ。素人でもなんとかならないことはないだろう。
はい。時間はかかるかもしれませんが。
Unless you want to just go with like a full fucking suspension bridge where, you know, nothing is actually in the water. But that's even more complex.
まずはやってみるさ。
分かったよ。文句ばっか言ってても始まらないしな。
はあ、おい、今日は何やってんだよおまわり。川に使ったりして。
また酔っ払ってんのか？
いえ、橋を建て直すため調査をしてい
You
る
know,
と
just
ころです。
inspecting the work site.
橋を建て直す？あんたが？
Oh, the refugees.
そいつら使ったか？
そりゃいい。警察も結構やってくれるじゃねえか。橋を壊した奴らに罪を認めさせて償いをさせてるってわけだ。
No, no.
なんだと？
よせよ。
それは違います。この方々と橋の破壊とは関係ありません。また自分に命令されて働いているのでもありません。
There we go.
善意ね。どうだかね。まあいいさ。てめえで壊したもんをてめえで直すってんなら邪魔することもねえ。せいぜい頑張ってやりな。
Oh, hush. As the men walk off, I realize that more of the locals are watching us now. Their stares are not warm. I would in fact call them cold. A prejudice once rooted does not topple easily. For now, all we can do is ignore it. I'll have to help the others understand. Okay, you know, they kept it simple. They didn't, like, actually have to bend the wood in order to get an arch. They're just going to keep it nice and flat. Maybe add some railings if the river's, like, fast. Several days later, the bridge is still nowhere near finished. If we had a schedule, I'd say we are behind it. For amateurs, though, we've done a fair job. And at the last abutments, which anchor the bridge to either bank, are close to completion.
やっぱり橋桁はいるか。
土台の上に板を渡して終わりってわけにもいかないだろう。
は、安全性に問題があります。
なら
Want to be
真ん
structurally
中に
sound.
足も作るか。
それは、さて。
River is narrow enough that it shouldn't be necessary. Still, it would be more stable, and we have plenty of supplies.
作るだけ作ってみてもよいかと。
そうだな。邪魔にはならないだろうし。兄弟ができたらやるか。
ええ。
おい。
I turned to see an elderly gentleman holding an unlit pipe. From his clothing, I'd place him a local. Is he trying to get my attention?
は、なんでしょう。ご老人。
いや、なんでもね
Okay.
え。余計なこっちゃ。
That night, it rains. The sound is light and echoes clearly through the house's thin walls. Ever since beginning this project, I have stayed at the home of little Hikari. Convenience is not the primary reason. It is closer to the work site than the commissioner's residence, not by a significant degree. For the use of her home, I have repaid the young landlady with food and various necessities, reasoning that a child in her circumstances would find them more useful than money. I did make one attempt to convince her to come live with me. She turned it down without hesitation, declaring that she would stay until her mother came back. Did not try to explain how unlikely that was, that mothers who abandon their children almost never return. As alone as she seems, she still has family as long as she believes that she does. I do not have the right to take that from her. The greatest kindness I can offer, then, is to honor her need for this sanctuary and maintain whatever distance she allows. And from that distance, she is presently watching. I cannot read the look in her eyes.
何か。
影明はどうして頑張るの？
She's like, yeah, you're weird. Though her question lacks a fair bit of clarity, I do not misunderstand. Did she see me working with the men at the bridge? Or was it instinct, the sort that only children possess? Either way, she is right. I am trying.
どうして？
は、それは。みんなに仲良くしてほしいからです。
仲良く？
はい。
どうして？
This time it takes longer to find the right words. I hope these will do.
和をもって尊しとす。
和を？
和をもって
Yeah, not the vegetable.
和を持って。
尊しとす。
Or a pea is like technically a bean, so would they be like a legume?
尊しとす。
Actually, not sure on that.
はい。
何？
昔の偉い人が言った言葉です。仲良くすることを大切にしなさい。
Yeah, I'll go over in school eventually if you ever go to school, which is probably unlikely. If we're being
争っ
honest.
てばかりいては何もできない。争わず、助け合えば、どんなことでもできるから。と。
Teamwork makes the dream work.
どんなことでも？
はい。食べるものを育てたり、家を建てたり。
動物園は？
Yeah, can't run a zoo
でき
alone.
ます。
映画館は？
できます。
すごい。
はい。ですが、仲良くせず、争っていると、そうしたものは作れないばかりか。
ダメ。
Yep.
はい。
争わないで仲良くするには どうしたらいいの？
Everyone? Impossible. But, you know, if you put in a good effort, you can do it with most people.
あなたが以前してくださったように。あなたは自分の食べ物
Yeah,
を人に
show
与えまし
kindness,
た。
understanding, empathy,
自
you
分より
know,
も困っている
a
からと
willingness to, you know, understand.
簡単なようで難しいことです。自分に余裕があるとき、他人に優しくできる人は多くいる。自分が苦しいと、人は自分だけを守り、時には他人から奪って自分を救おうとさえする。とても立派なことです。
そう。
She must not be accustomed to compliments. She looks down, blushing like a ripe peach.
誰もが自分のことより他人のことを思いやれば争いなど起きません。それはとても良いことです。
そうなるといいね。
If only. I think I expected something more dramatic. But when I arrived at the worksite next morning, the damage is already done. Instead of a bridge, I find a jumble of wood fit for only a beaver's nest. Nobody, beholding this pile of scrap, would think for a moment that some fools tried to build something here. It's obvious what happened. Last night's rain must have caused the river to flood. Beside me, the other workers stare at the wreckage in disbelief. Nobody speaks. There are still the statues. I know exactly how they feel. From time to time, I hear snickers at our back, the volume measured precisely for our ears. The locals are walking past. Mistakes were made. First and greatest is that we did not properly anchor our foundations. Yep, told you. Gotta fucking lay some concrete. At the time, I thought them deep enough, even accounting for the loose soil of the riverbed. Evidently, I was wrong. There were other faults as well, I'm sure. As I'm sure that most of them could have been avoided. We should have been more diligent.
まずは問題点を整理しましょう。その上で設計からやり直し。
My only answer is the sound of their breathing, and this conveys only exhaustion. Now, I blame them. They knew there was a chance that their work might amount to nothing, but no one can truly prepare themselves for a shock like this. But nothing I can say will help, and there's work to be done. Someone needs to dismantle their modern art masterpiece. I step into the river.
たく見てられねえ。
I turn to see the old man who spoke to me yesterday. He approaches, gnawing his unlit pipe.
はい。
はい。
おめえら全員投資郎だな。
Yep.
あ、誰も橋を建てた経験はありません。
大工やってたやつすらいねえだろ。
お察しの通りです。
それでよく橋を作ろうなんて考えたな。
Mm-hmm.
口の聞けねえやつが漫才やるようなもんだ。
そこまで困難なことですか。
Yeah, but we we're trying to do the right thing.
俺は隠居してるが、昔は大工だ。橋を作ったことも何度かある。動かない地面の上に建てる家より、
Mm-hmm.
流れる川と付き合わなきゃいけねえ橋や余計に面倒だったさ。
なるほど。
Perhaps this task is simply more than amateurs can handle.
ご老人。
ん？
元大工で、しかも橋作りの経験者でもあられるあなた
Yeah,
の
you
力
don't
を
actually have to do any of the work, just, as a consultant.
助言してくださるだけで良いのです。どうか。
その気がなけりゃ声かけたりしねえよ。
では。
Hey, look at that. Hearts and minds, people.
そっちのおめえら。今から俺の言う通りに動き。まずそのガラクタを片付けるんだ。
There we go. We're making progress.
ぼさっとしてんじゃねえ。橋を作るんだろうが。
では、土台はこのようにするとして、足は
この川幅でそんなのいらねえよ。ゴミを引っ掛けるだけ。ない方がマシだ。
So, keep it closer to the banks, let the water just go through the middle, and properly support it from there?
その分、兄弟をしっかり作っとき。
は。
クメのじいさんじゃねえか。何やってんだ。
そいつらを手伝ってるのか。
まあな。おめえら、今日は休みか。
Like, yeah, want to fucking do something good for the community for once?
そうだけど。
なら手を貸せ。
はあ？おいおい、なんで俺たちがそんなこと。
ぐだぐだ抜かすな。どうせここの橋はないと困るんだろうが。
He's got a point.
そりゃそうだが。
こいつらに任せてたらいつまで待っててもできねえぞ。さっさと着替えてきな。あと他にも暇なやつがいたら連れてこい。
どうする？
どうもこうも
Yep.
仕方ねえだろ。
Seems like a real fucking slave driver.
まったくじいさんにはかなわね
なんとも。
I did not expect this to happen. Within a few hours, a small army is gathered, refugees and locals working side by side. The divide between them is by no means healed. The looks they exchange are mistrustful and cold. But when a beam needed bracing or a log needs lifting, now there are more hands to hold it, and not always from only one side.
これならば
It will still take time, and there will be more challenges, but perhaps not so much or so many as I thought.
これも現場に運んだ方がいいんじゃないか。
そうだな。ん？なんだあんたか。
こないだの話かい？悪いけどさ、あんたらには頼まないことに決まったよ。払う金がないもんでね。
Was our third party the one who did it? You know, trying to rabble up the people so that way, you know, they feel more desperate and that they need to pay for their protection?
は？
何？なんだって？
That's crazy.
橋の広さは人間一人が通れる程度で良いのでしょうか。
もう少しあった方がいいな。二人がすれ違えるくらいに。そうすりゃ荷車も通れる。
それは確かに便利です。しかし資材が足りないかもしれません。
心配すんな。いざとなりゃ俺が昔の仕事場に掛け合ってやるよ。
It's nice to, you know, have connections, huh?
ご造作をかけます。
あのとっぽい兄ちゃんが。
Oh, someone who knows about it?
まさか。なあ。
Is it our old friend, fucking Sornamachi running around?
ミド、
村正。
I rise swiftly. It's well past midnight. I was already wide awake. Is it the reason I've been staying at Hikari's? Close to the bridge when the time came. Muramasa continues, reporting from her station at the fire tower by the river.
あなたの予測、的中みたいよ。
Chewing
工
away
事
at the
の場
wood.
所でごそごそやり始めた。
わかった。すぐに行く。
Already dressed. I slip from the house, then run into the night.
人数はわかるか。
4人よ。
Oh, that's easy.
そのくらいなら抑えられるな。よし。そこにある反証を鳴らせ。
いいの？
ああ。真相を皆に知らしめる必要がある。
Oh, up the fire tower. An actual bell. You know, not some kind of figure of speech here.
了解。
なんだ火事が冗談じゃねえ。
Few things in the city are feared more than fire. Within a minute of the first clang, the riverside is packed with people rest from their slumber. You know, especially when all the houses are made of fucking balsam wood and paper. And there, they see what I wanted them to see. 4 men skulking at the skeletal base of the bridge. In their hands, saw, cleavers, hatchets. Tools that can serve but one purpose.
あんたら。
この地域の治安維持に雇われたがっていた。
そうだ。
The mystery of the bridge, it turns out, was no mystery at all.
倫理的に問題のあるセールスです。治安回復を必要とさせるために、まず治安を悪化させる。
Uh-huh.
どういうことだよ。
橋を壊したのはこの方々です。今もまた同じことを旧来の住民と難民との間を裂くために。
なんだと？
全てはこの地域の住民を資金源として取り込むためだったのでしょうが。
Yeah, you know, so if you could, like,
も
leave,
はや叶わぬことです。
that'd be great.
何も言わずそのままお帰りを。そうして今後一切の手出しを控えていただけるなら、住民の方々も そのように自分からも説得します。
いらっしゃいまじゃ。
Oh, damn, this guy.
六原お雇いの看板で食えた時代じゃねえ。稼ぎ場所を作らんことには首も回らんでの。引けって言われて引けるかい。
無意味な意地です。
やっかしいわ。余計な邪魔しくさって。こうなりゃ力ずくで島にしたら。
But you really came out to like fucking knock down a bridge wearing your nice white suit? Steel flashes in the lamplight. Leader of the four has drawn a crude katana. Well, to either side, his underlings brandish their axes and knives. Around me, the crowd recoils in fear. I step forward. Though I hope to avoid violence, it seems that I don't have a choice.
村正、虎鉄をよこせ。
Kotetsu's a fucking Nodachi, my guy.
了解。
And you're going unarmored? Like, that's a big sword to be swinging around. Armoring would be overkill. At the same time, it'd be foolish to face four hardened thugs barehanded. Their eyes widen when Kotetsu appears suddenly at my hands. The four men do not allow their surprise to distract them. Two steps forward to attack me head-on, while the remaining two approach from my sides. In general, when facing multiple opponents, it is wise to keep your distance and avoid being surrounded. Here, however, my priority is to ensure the safety of the civilians present. I must not give these men a chance to turn their blades on them. And so, instead of retreating, I advance towards the enemy on my right. The enemy braces for my attack. Immediately, I turn away and meet instead his ally, who is striking at my flank. The blunt edge of my blade lands true, collapsing the man's collarbone and driving the air from his lungs. He crumples without a whimper. A shout of pure rage yanks my focus to the left. At the same instant, an electric tingle in my forehead warns me of the danger. A mighty blow falls from the sky, determined to split me in two. I get my sword up just in time. Knowing that I don't have the strength to block it, I deflect the blow to the side. It passes millimeters from my ear, taking several hairs with it. The sword circles above my head, then strikes from below, taking the man beneath his right arm. Ugh. Even considering that I held back my strength, such a blow is more than even the hardest men can handle. He drops, foaming. The leader is down. That just leaves two more. Afterwards, while catching my breath, I wiped the sweat from my brow. That fight, though short, was exhausting. Fortunately, I've sustained no injuries, and the four toughs, now unconscious on the ground, will all survive their wounds. Everyone lives. That's about the best outcome one can expect from a fight.
村正、他に仲間はいないな。
大丈夫よ。
I let my body relax. All in all, I'd consider this a victory. Of course, it's not as though the neighborhood's problems will just go away. Still a long way from good relations. But at least now there's There's one less force acting to keep them apart.
No.
Something's odd. The crowd is silent, but watchful. Why are they all staring? All right. My sword. I shouldn't wave it about. Most people are fearful of the presence of a naked blade. Silently, I instruct Muramasa to collect Kotetsu.
消えた。おい、まさかあの話。
Too late. I realized my mistake. Just now, my sword would have appeared to vanish. I should have known this would only upset them. I need to explain. But how?
あんた。
The local speaks first, long before any excuse comes to mind.
あんた。
Are you the Crimson Musha,
今
the
までに
hero?
何人も殺してきた殺人鬼の武者だって聞いたんだけど。本当なのか？
No.
誰でも構わず、女でも子供でも殺してきたって。
Oh, unless you mean, what actually happens with the law of balance, then yes.
聞いたんだけど
Heard? Where? Who told them that? Who told them the truth?
何を言い出すんだよいきなり。
いや俺だって信じちゃいなかったけど今の見たろヤクザをあっさり片付けるし刀は出たり消えたりするしあんな真似武者にしかできねえよ。
それはそうだが。
Like, realistically, you should have just had Muramasa, shift back into human form and just come to take the sword from you and hold it.
待てって。このおまわりさんがもし武者だとしてもだ。まさか殺人鬼ってことはないだろう。なあ。
Well,
おい。なんで黙ってるんだよ。なんか言ってくれよ。
say something. What? That I'm not a killer? That I'm an innocent man?
あんた。まさか。
Begins with a gasp. A panicked squeal rises from every throat at once. Instant later, the crowd starts to boil.
どけよてめえ。うるせえ、押すな。
なんだと？そもそもてめえらがあの変な男を引っ張り込んだんだろうが。
知らねえよ。
Ah, no good deed goes unpunished.
俺たち相手にけしかけるつもりだったのか。
知らねえってんだろ。お前らこそ俺たちを殺させるつもりで。
A tiny glimmer of consensus has vanished. Now, once again, they're at each other's throats, pushing, fighting to be the first to flee. And at the center, like a core of a flame, I stand, the one who inspired them.
やめろ。
やめろ。
Silence drops like a hammer. All eyes go to me. And in every eye, the same emotion. Precisely what a killer deserves. Terror. I'm drinking again, though the liquor is tasteless. Like a fool. Yes, I am a fool. A fool for thinking that I could bring peace, that I could ever do some good. I knew that would happen, didn't I? Killer, hands covered in blood, reaching fellowship and harmony. Of course the sins of his past would undo him. Of course he would be exposed. Thus, the false prophet crawls off the stage, and the audience bursts into laughter. Farce. That's all this was. A madman's twisted dream. Dream is over now. I see myself for what I am. And I know the truth. I can do nothing.
ミノ、あなたはよくやったと思う。
Give the old college
恥じることは
try.
何もない。
No? What of the lives I've taken? What of Mother, of Hikaru, whom I swore to protect? Is that not cause for shame? What of the chaos I loosed on the world, which I could have prevented if I've had the will? Is that not cause for shame? Of course it is. Worst of all,
恥はある。
that I'm still alive.
犯した罪に
Mm-hmm.
何一つ報いていないこと。
If only I could pay for my crimes. For failing that, set something right. But I can't. I go on, worthless.
それが恥だ。なぜ生きている。なぜ生きているのだ。なぜ俺は
Alright, enough fucking self-pity, guy. Come on.
この
そんな資格もないのに生きて
You're such a fucking sad sap.
えい
Change is too sudden, and much too dramatic. It takes my drink-addled brain a minute to process what happened. Are these threads? Muramasas? Oh no! The art changed into CG!
もう
that means we're gonna go into a scene that'll have to cut.
頭き
おい、
た。あなたって人はどうしてそこまでどうしようもなくてどうにもならなくてどうにもしようがないのよ。
What? He's just a little guy. Can't help it.
どういや、それよりこの拘束を。落ち着け、村正。
Yeah, you're not making any
落
sense.
ち着いてください。
いや
Oh.
生きてたっていいじゃない。何もできなくたって。なんであなたはその程度にすら自分を許せないのよ。
俺は
ミミズだってオケラだってアメンボだって、
Mhm.
呼吸したり泥食べたり体液吸ったりする以外特に何もしてないけど堂々生きてるでしょ。
And not
だか
saying, you
ら
know,
あなたも生きてていいのよ。
what's done is done, so just get over it. But, you know, there is a point where you just have to fucking get over it.
いや、待て。
Well, not get over it, accept that it is a thing that happened and internalize it as a part of you, but move the fuck on.
今いい話してるんだから黙って聞いて。
Like, you know, still gotta carry it with you. Like, don't leave it behind. You know, carry that burden, but, you know, actually move forward. You know, and, you know, just have it be there, a part of you. But keep going, man.
とてもそうは思えないのだが。
生きている意味がないって思うなら逆に考えなさい。こうして生きているだけで意味があるんだって。お天道様は意味のないことなんてしないの。あなたが今そうして生きているってことはそれでいいのよ。
Yeah, there's no guarantee that things will, you know, just being alive, that things will be good. But, you know, if you're alive, there's a chance good things might happen. But if you're unwilling to seek out or, you know, accept those good things, then, you know, your own fucking fault.
それは
何よ。
Magical thinking. The sort people use to grant themselves forgiveness.
俺は罪を犯している。これは完璧な事実だ。だから俺は。
わかりますわかります。自分のしたこと全部にきっちりちゃんと責任を取れる人がいたらそれは立派でしょうとも。でもあなたがそうなれるかどうかは別よ。あなたは
Yep,
自
just
分
keep
を
on
どれ
living
ほど
the
すごい
best
と
you
思ってる
can.
の。人並み外れて優れた傑物だって思ってる。
You know, there's just like a fucking world war. You know, you don't think there's people out just living their normal lives who killed like 20 people in the fucking jungles of Burma?
そうでは。
この世の中責任の重さに耐えられなくて逃げたり忘れたりしながら生きてる人はいっぱいいる。あなたの理屈だとそういう人たちは皆生きる価値なんかないってわけ。
いいよ。
そうよ。そんなの単に普通の人間よ。世の中は普通の人間が集まってできてる。あなたは自分がその中の一人に過ぎないんだって認められないの？
But I've done so much wrong. I can't be a normal person.
だが。
Yeah. It's not that simple. Murder is not just another mistake. Go on as if all those lives meant nothing. But I live with myself.
ああ、そうわかった。思い知らせてあげないとダメなのね。
何？
Yeah? How? Oh, yeah, wait, whoa. Hey, oh, nice toes. But yeah, exactly what I thought was gonna happen. Time to skip this. Down in the doobly-doo, there's the thing to see the thing, you know where. See you guys after all this resolves. Okay, I'm gonna assume we're back on YouTube now. Hello, YouTube folks. To explain what just happened, our boy got a life reaffirming foot job, and then, you know, did the do, and he's like, man, this is fucking great. I love this. This is woo. Like, what fool was I before to have forsaken life when such life affirming pleasures exist? And now here we are. And thus, I lie with Muramasa in the lingering heat of our coitus. My heart at last reaches that most liberating state, despair. Yeah, I just mentioned this before he came back. He's getting his post-nut clarity on. He's like, oh, now I feel bad. It's like you get into it, and you maybe say or do some things that in the moment that's like, oh, did I really should I have really said that? Like it was just kind of in the moment and kind of got they're going along with it, but it's like that's not like really how I feel. Like in my right state of mind, so I believe myself unworthy of life, of love, yet still my flesh submits to its urges at the slightest provocation. I'm a worm. This is true. And if I accept it, then the truth is all that it needs to be.
村正、
うん。
お前はめちゃくちゃだ。
Smiling, I tug on her ear, which elicits a faint grumble. Honestly, could she conceive of no other course? Her naivety astounds. At the same time, it also fills me to bursting with warmth, affection. Yes, affection for this pure-hearted soul.
村正、一緒にいてくれるか。
Peace settles over me, a feeling that I have not known since the day I murdered my mother. Oh, bring it right into mommy issues. Fucking good pillow talk. Good pillow talk, man. It's like, hey, I know we just had a great time. Do you want to talk about how I fucking killed my mom? It's like Muramasa. It's like she's like, yeah, sure. Let's try to fucking sort out those feelings. But a normal sane person would be like, yo, what the fuck? I left my fucking fridge running. I got to go home and check up on it. And then they fucking never contact you again. Where before I sought in Muramasa the cold of hard-forged steel, now it is their warmth that is precious. Yet another sign of my mortal turpitude. Turpitude. I acknowledge and shelve it with all the others. Sleep beckons. I close my eyes, surrendering to its embrace. And for the first time in 2 years, I rest. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I'm gonna call it, because I'm losing it. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I can't talk good no more. And hopefully, for the next one, I can just power through, and we can knock this out. So, perhaps for the last time for this series, I would like to thank you once again for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, so that way you can be here on time when the next episode drops of potentially the thrilling conclusion of Full Metal Demon Muramasa. Catch you guys there later. Bye. Mwah.